Summer gloves. What possessed me to put summer gloves on? My hands are frickin' freezing. Well, spring has officially sprung in the UK, although it doesn't feel like it. It still feels like winter to me. It's really cold and there is salt all over the roads. But I was climbing the walls. It was a sunny day and I've not been out to ride in ages. So I thought, you know what, let's go out. I'll jet wash the bike when I get back, make sure there's no salt on it. I don't care. Oh, seriously, it's been too long since I've been out for a ride. And certainly I've not ridden my new toy enough. So that's what we're doing today. As it's now officially spring and I'm now fully riding my new MT-09 SP, I thought I'd just give a little short talk on why I particularly chose this bike, the Yamaha 2018 MT-09 SP, over the strong running favourite, which was going to be the Street Triple RS by Triumph. Well, those of you who have seen my test ride and initial thoughts and feelings on the Street Triple RS, which I'll probably link at the end of the video for those who haven't seen it, I loved that bike. I really did. I was completely and utterly sold on it from the moment I swung my leg over it to the moment I got off it, and I just really didn't want to get off it. And in my head I was going to buy one. I was to the point all I had to do was spring, I had to roll around, I had to go to some Triumph dealer and buy one. That was what was going to happen. Because I wanted a smaller capacity bike to replace my R1, which is going to be a full-time track bike, and that's just seemed the logical choice. But I always liked the idea of the MT-09, so why did I choose it over the Triumph after all my hype about the Triumph? Well, there's a very well used aphorism, and it's used for good reason, and it does bear repeating, that there is no such thing as a bad motorbike anymore. There isn't. None of the Japanese and European manufacturers make a bad bike anymore, and I'll kind of qualify that by saying they don't make a bad larger capacity bike anymore. I can't really comment on 125, 250s and the like, because I've not ridden one in such a long time, but certainly 500, 600, 750s, 1000s, you know, they're all good bikes now. They've all got the idea now that you just can't put out a crap bike. You know, they're being made correctly, they're being designed properly, and they are up to the job. It's all down to what your personal taste is on a bike. So when it comes down to a choice, in my case, between the MT-09 SP in this case and the Triumph Street Triple R or RS, then there is no wrong choice. There isn't one. I could have chosen either bike and it would have been the right choice. The subtle differences which made me pick this bike over the Triumph are so subtle that you could not fit a cigarette paper between them. Honestly, it was that close of a deal. And right up until me going to the bike show at Birmingham late last year, I was for buying the Street Triple. I was all planned to go to the dealer as soon as winter was over and just go and drop the cash and buy one. But then I saw this at the bike show and I thought, oh, that's nice, because I've always liked the idea of the MT-09, but previous iterations up to this one have always been criticised because of its suspension and poor fueling. Well, with this one, with the Öhlins rear shock and the KYB fully adjustable front forks, boom, that's that problem solved. And the fueling, that is absolutely sweet as a nut. So when I test rode it, it just, and then I saw the price of it, it completely and utterly switched a switch over in my mind. Because this thing comes in £1,000 less, near enough, than the Street Triple RS, and for that £1,000 extra that it cost to buy the RS, yeah, maybe that money's worth it, because you are getting Brembo stoppers and you're getting a nice full TFT display, which is a lovely, wonderful thing to have. But for me, it all come down to pretty much three things really, and that was one, the looks of the bike. I love the look of the MT-09, and especially this SP with the Öhlins suspension and this lovely gold forks with the KYB and this superb R1M inspired paint job, which is similar to the one that was on the MT-10 SP, and you know I like that one. So there's just the way the bike looks to me is superb. It's fully modern looking, and it just looks radical and different and fun. It just looks, it's not the Street Triple, great looking bike, but its looks are a bit dated now. But you know, it's all subjective, whether you like the looks of which bike or what. It's all down to personal taste. And the second one was, after test riding this, I just love the way this bike creates its torque. It's got much, well, not much more, but it's got appreciably more torque in the low end than the Street Triple has. That's on the RS, which I know is tuned more for high end, and apparently the Street Triple R is more akin to this, but even then, it's not, on paper it's not got as much torque as this, and I can't imagine it actually feeling like it's got as much as this, because this has got bags of torque, and I love that. It was one of the not really, I didn't really miss it on the street, because that was just a whole different package. That was more like a sports bike. It was like a Super Sport 600 to ride that. You revved it, but my god, it rewarded you. So there was that, and then there was the price of the thing. It was like £1,000 less to buy this bike over the Street Triple R. Now, for that £1,000 more though, like I said, it is a better equipped to bike the street, it really is, and I will go as far as saying it's a more complete bike out the box. It's ready to go, it's plug and play. You could set that straight out the box and be fast on a fast track day on that bike. It's certainly more sporty and handles probably better than this bike, and this bike will need a bit of suspension adjustment by myself just to make it suitable for me to feel 100%, you know, confident on it. Well, that aside though, this has got fully adjustable suspension, so I can do all that, and I will do all that as soon as I've got these tyres scrubbed in, and we get the road conditions up to par, which they're not at the minute. They're absolutely awful. So yeah, so they were like the main three things that made me choose this bike over the street. And I have seen a couple of Street Triples since purchasing this, and I've got to say, a little thought goes through my head, oh, did I buy the right bike? Did I ride? Because they are that close. You know, I love this bike. When I see it in the garage, I get it out, I get really excited. It just feels so good to ride. It's such a good street bike, and I'm going to really get on with it. But if I'd have bought the Street Triple, I'd have been just as happy. I really would have been. And I know that the Street Triple R, the current one as of 2018, is a similar price to this one, the SP, and probably has slightly better equipment levels and things, but personally I couldn't have bought the Street Triple R knowing that the RS exists, because it is so good. It really is so good, you know. And I would miss them Brembo brakes on. I would like to have them Brembo brakes on this machine, but I don't, so that's that. But saying that, as I've done 100 or so miles on this now, the brakes seem to be bedding in lovely, and they do have a lot more bite than they did when I first rode it. They'll never be as good as Brembo's, but they are certainly good enough for me, and certainly good enough for a road bike. Both bikes are super nimble. I just love the way this turns in. It's got really quick turning in, and I've not fully scrubbed the tyres in, so I'm not really pushing it, and I'm still braking the thing in, so I'm being a bit gentle with the throttle, which is why I'm running it in standard at the minute. So if you're on the fence about which bike to buy and you're in the market for a similar, I say it's not even a mid capacity, this is like an 850, and the streets are 765, you know, so you can't exactly, you know, they're a bit more than the 600 classes was now. But if you're in the market for this group of bike, you know, and you're wondering which one to buy, it really just does come down to which one you like, the look of, the feel of, the idea of, and not just these two bikes. I'm also including in that the Kawasaki Z900. That looks like a really good bike. It looks ace. I really like the looks of it, and you know that inline 4 Kawasaki engine is going to be super smooth and powerful. And then you've also got the Suzuki GSX 750S thing, you know, which again is another quality looking road bike, and it's from Suzuki, so it's going to be a good bike. It's going to have that lovely Japanese 4-cylinder power and smoothness. It's based on an old Gixxer design, so that's going to be a good bike. You know, this market for the mid-range bikers, as well laughingly call it, is just super representative. And people would often say that the glory days of motorcycling were in the sort of 50s, 60s and 70s. I totally disagree with that. I can understand why people might get a bit misty-eyed about the bikes of their youth, because I do when I see 1980s Japanese inline 4 muscle bikes. That was my era. That's what really floats my boat. But the bikes, I wish that when I was starting out, or when I was in my 20s, I had bikes like this to ride, because they are superb. They go out the box, they handle superbly, they stop superbly, they go superbly, and you don't have to do anything with them, and they're going to be reliable, they're not going to let you down. You know, it's just such a good time to be into motorbikes. And I think in the, you know, because I don't think we've got that many decades left where internal combustion engines will be a thing of the past. And whether you're the kind of person who will embrace electric powered motorbikes, or you'll absolutely fight against the concept tooth and claw, you know, it's coming. So these bikes that we're riding now and in the next few years, they're going to be the best of them. Because sooner or later they're going to stop making them. They just are, because, you know, the fuel's just not, you know, the fuel economy is going to change, and gas is going to go out there, petrol's going to go out the window. So, as I say, there is no wrong answer as to which bike to buy in this day and age. You buy the one that you just like, that you like the look of, you like the feel of. Test ride them, always test ride them. But just in this sector, go with your heart. Totally go with your heart. Buy what, if it's an expensive one, buy it. Don't compromise. Don't buy it like a street triple S if you want the street triple R. You know, just find that extra bit of cash, push it out, and buy it. Because life's too short to ride dirt bikes you don't like. So I'm just going to go and pull into Rivington for the first time this season and get myself a cup of tea, because my hands are bloody freezing, and hopefully we'll get this bit of a cold snap out the way and we can get this season started properly. Good to be out. even though I've got bloody freezing hands. Right, I'll see you all later. Take care everyone, ride safe, keep them shiny side up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.